We'll start with Cristobal Roladron assessing the impact of lean methods in mining development process. Please.
Thank you. So, hi, good morning. My name is Cristobal Ladrón. I have a master's degree at the Pontifical Catholic University of Chile, and I will be presenting my master's thesis as an extract of it. It's called Assessing the Impact of Lean Methods in Mining Development Projects. So the contents of this presentation will be, first I will give you a little background on the identification of the problem, then we'll go through the research aim and objectives, then the literature review, then we will go to the research approach and methodology, and we will end with the research findings. So in this graph, I show you the GDP per capita against the labor productivity, and you can see that there's no evidence of continuous growth on the domestic product without an increase of the productivity. So this is mainly the main issue that we have to tackle in order to grow sustainably. So if you see Chile, it's down there, and if you see the States, it's up there, and we have like 33% of the productivity of the US. So if we see all the different industries in Chile and we make it a breakdown, you see that mining and construction, mining is the industry that has more relative productivity of all, and construction it's has a it's very critical, the productivity, and so we have to actually make things happen in order for this to increase. So then what are the main productivity gaps in both the mining and the construction industry? It's actually the lack of operational efficiency. And what's the root cause of that? It's because we have a lot of adoption of advanced management methods. So that's where lean emerges as one of the answers in order to answer that question. So this research, this research has the aim to evaluate the impact of the implementation of lean production methodologies, such as the last planner system, on an underground mining development project in Chile. And the objective is to assess its impact and to know what the impacts are in order to evaluate them. So we did a literature review, and we saw that Okay, so the literature review, we have two kinds of approaches. One is more theoretical, about the theoretical applicability, and the other one is more like implementations and different case studies that have been performed. And we've seen that mining development projects are identified as one of the areas in the mining industry that has more potential in order to adopt these methodologies, but there's little research about it. So some of the results that the other authors have found are listed here. So you see that it's been shown an increase of the productivity in the meters advanced, a reduction of the interferences and the waste, and an improvement of the physical progress and program reliability in all of those projects. But there are some issues that have not been tackled, like what's the impact on the variability of the indicators of the projects? Also, we have to make like third-party measurements in order to get the bias out of the owner and out of the contractor, in order to be like non-biased measurements. And as well, there's no correlational analysis in any of these cases that I just showed you. So with that being said, we proposed this research methodology, which is divided in 3 stages. It took 1 year, so we did 3 months of diagnosis where we established the baseline of the project. We used different tools in order to get that baseline and the KPIs that we chose. So we used shift cycles, identification of wages through the detention survey, and we also put together a team in order to get a strategy to tackle these issues. So the second part, it's the implementation. It took 6 months. And we went there, we did a lot of training, and we also implemented the 4 initiatives that were established by this productivity board. And they are listed here. Is the standardization and coordination at the beginning of the shift. The transport system, we also standardized that. We implement a system to improve planning and control, and we also reduce waste due to shotcrete supply or material supply. And some of the tools that we implemented are 5S, last planner system, value stream mapping, and continuous improvement as well. And in the last part, the control stage, we actually compared the performance on the project on both with the same indicators, with the same KPIs that we were looking at the first stage, so we could compare these 2 stages at the beginning and the end. So we chose a case study methodology, and this was implemented in one of the biggest mining project of the biggest mining company in the world. So it's a very, very critical project to them. Some of the indicators that we were looking at, first of all, we chose them because we were capable of monitoring them. We were also, the expert opinion, they said that they were really representative about the state of the project, and as well, they're directly related to productivity. So some of the indicators are like workable time, which is the amount of time that workers spend at the face, doing their work, considering a 12-hour shift, okay? Then we have daily physical progress, which is measured through the meters advanced, as well as the blast they made, and program completion. And we also look at the PPC because it was one of the most important tools that we implemented last planner. So just for a matter of time, I will show you just some of the results, not all of them. You can find more detail on the paper, but here it's the workable time, which is one of the indicators. This is the main indicator. Remember that it represents out of 12 hours how much time the worker spent on the face. So if you see in the diagnosis stage, it was 5.75 hours out of 12 hours, so that's less than 50% of the time. And in the control stage, we could raise that to 6.67 hours. So that's an increase of 16%. And about the standard deviation, this is a very important result because we see a reduction of 31%. But we ask ourselves, is this statistically significant? Are these results, like, can you say it's just luck that we look at them, or is it has a statistical background? So we did test them, and both improvements of the mean and the reduction of the standard deviation, they were significant in a statistical point of view, considering a 5% of confidence level. So that's a very important result because we were able to increase the time but reduce the variation, which is very good for processes. We also look at the correlation between the PPC and this coefficient of variation of the CV. And so we look at them, and they have a relationship, a correlation. And this indicates that once you have higher PPCs, you get less variation as well. And this was also statistically significant. And some of the results of this research was that the implementation of these tools positively affected the performance of the project, and as well it formed like teamworks in order to tackle these issues based on A3, which was very good. We got very good feedback from that, and as well we got from a statistical point of view, these results are very significant, and that's very important because there are people that outside of the Lean community that don't think that these improvements are relevant, and you can actually this paper could help persuade them to change their minds and to try Lean as a possible solution for their problems. So thank you.